Well, good morning, gentlemen and gentle ladies. We're on another adventure, and I am in Essex, near Essex, California. Beautiful, sunny California. I actually do like it here. And we are on a search for a missing person. And it's kind of a weird story, and I want to tell you a little bit of background information on this so that you understand why I'm here and why I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm going to be here probably for 3 days doing this. So there'll be a number of videos. All right, first things first. I was out in this exact area about a year ago doing some stuff and camping, just like I am now. And I had taken a picture of a giant mine shaft that was in the middle of a road, dirt road. Like you could drive right into it. There's nothing around it. If you were out there at night, drinking or something like that, you'd easily drive right into this thing. I posted this picture on, I think it was my Facebook and Instagram accounts. My social media stuff. God, it's early. I know it looks like it's late in the morning, but it's early for me. I had a terrible night's sleep. I had leg cramps, so from hiking yesterday somewhere else. So I posted that picture, and sometime later, again, this was only a year ago that I did this, I got a message from a lady saying that her sister went missing in this very area, and she was, concerned that maybe she fell in that mine shaft, because if you were walking along that dirt road at night, you could easily do that. And she wanted to know if I had dropped a camera down there. And I said, well, no, I didn't, because I was way too lazy that day. I wanted to, but I was just way too lazy to set my rig up. And sorry about that. But then she went on to tell me the story about her sister. And I'm not going to go into great detail in this story, because I don't know if I have all the facts, and the facts that I have been given are somewhat contradictory. But there's a lady has a YouTube channel. And I'll link her in a pinned comment, her YouTube channel, that goes into great detail about this case. It's a lady that does missing person stuff. She goes into great detail about this, and I've been talking back and forth with her. She's actually helped me a lot. She's the reason why I'm hedging giving you too much information, because it's not, it's mixed up. I'm not getting everything that. Then everything's not falling neatly into place with this. Let me tell you why. There's a good reason for it, actually. The basic facts are this. This is what I know to be probably fact. Cara has a boyfriend that was a truck driver, and he invited her to go on a run with him out to the coast of California. They live somewhere in Oklahoma. Across the desert here to California, and she said, sure, I'll go. It's a multi-day trip. So she packed her bags, jumped in the truck with him, and away they went. And that's where, we know that to be fact, but that's where the facts, as I understand them, start to diverge, okay? He shows up back home after this trip by himself, with all her clothes, all her belongings, except for her cell phone and herself, which, sounds eerily familiar, doesn't it? About a year, maybe two now, there was I don't know if you remember the Gabby, I think Petito, I can't exactly remember her last name, but the Gabby Petito, same type of thing happened, where her and her boyfriend went on a trip across the U.S., and he comes back home without her. Got everything but her. And it turns out he murdered her out somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Got caught by a fellow YouTuber, basically. Saw their vehicle and reported it to the police. And that's a long story. Anyway, exact same thing happened. He shows up at home without her. Police question him. And he's like, I don't know what happened to her. And turns out that he killed her. And then he ended up killing himself. This story is very similar. They go out, come back, all her stuff, police question them. And it was my understanding the first thing he said was, well, yeah, we got in a fight at one of the casinos along the way, and she stormed off and left all her stuff with me, and I haven't seen her since, haven't heard from her. which is a great story, but the problem is, I think, and I'm speculating here, is that, you know, casinos have cameras everywhere. So they probably said, well, that's strange because there's absolutely zero evidence you were ever in that casino. That's what I'm speculating, that he got caught in a lie because he changed his story. The story is now that they went out to California, dropped the stuff, came back, got in a fight at a rest stop near Essex, which is where we're going this morning, about 20 miles that way, 10, 20 miles that way. And she left him, got into another truck with a stranger, and that's the last he ever heard of her. Apparently there's some texts going back and forth. But we don't know if he did those texts himself or if she did it or whatever, but that's the last anyone ever saw of her. And then from what I understand, he's not cooperating with law enforcement other than that. It's like, that's it, he's done. It could have happened. That could have been the way it happened. I'm skeptical because he apparently did lie about the casino and her leaving there. And if he's going to lie about that, he's going to lie about anything. And according to the YouTube lady who does these type of programs, he did have some sort of restraining order against him from, I think, his ex-wife at some time in the past. If that's true, you know, he shows some violent tendencies. So the fact that violent tendencies, okay, you know, people do change, but the fact that he lied to law enforcement is a huge red flag. So that's the story. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go to the rest stop. I want to start there. And we're going to walk along the desert areas outside of the rest stop, up along the fences, look for clues, see if there's anything we can find. Now, personally, I don't think that she is still out there, you know what I mean, out there alive, because it's been 6 months and no one's heard from her. Now, I think she has a young child, not 100% on that, but it seems to be indicated in that missing poster. So no one's heard from her in 6 months, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the rest area. We're going to walk that whole area. I'm going to maybe give you a little more background. And then later, when the sun gets up really high, either today or tomorrow, depending on how tired I get. You got to remember, I've been driving like for 3 days to get out here, so I've been sitting in the truck a lot. When the sun gets really high, I'm going to get my little drone out and we're going to try to lower at least a little ways into that mine shaft and see if we can see what's down there. And when the sun's high, there'll be lots of light going down in it. If that doesn't work, I'll drop a camera, like a GoPro camera down in there on a string or something like that. But that's my plan. I don't think I'm going to get that all done today. So there's going to be several videos, I think. I'm also going to go to a couple of the other local interchanges here and look to see if there's any evidence there, because there's 2 or 3 right in this 30-40 mile stretch that the truckers go there at night. They pull off the interstate, they park at night and sleep. So when you go by there could be 1 or there could be 20 tractor trailers pulled off the road, and there's nothing there. I mean, no houses, nothing. It's out in the middle of nowhere. So if I was going to dump a body, I would probably do it at a place like that as opposed to a very busy rest stop. Got to remember, he can't go far off the road with his vehicle because he's got a big tractor trailer, and there's not that many roads out here you can get off on. So I'm thinking if he did kill her and bury her, or someone else did, that it's going to be near one of these interchanges out here that are very remote, and there's I think 2 or 3 right in this area. So we're going to check those out too. But today we're going to go to the Essex rest stop. It's a lovely place. You're going to love it. And we're going to walk around in the bushes. What do you say? That's the bike right there we're going to take. Going to have a nice leisurely drive down there. In fact, there's part of Interstate 66 that I talked about earlier in my trip that we're going to go on that is closed down because the bridges are washed out, but we can take our bike on it. And it's just, I think it's going to be a fun trip because there shouldn't be anybody out there except for all the people like us that are trying to get their kicks on Route 66. Let's get to it. And oh, by the way, you might ask, hey Chig, how come you're camping 20 miles away from where you're going to search? The main reason is this. That mountain over there has giant cell towers on it, and I have 5G here that's really fast. But if you go up into any of these side canyons, valleys, you don't have any signal at all. Once you get outside of Interstate 40, you're on your own, no cell signal. I did want to say this. I made a sandwich this morning, like imitation Spam. And I haven't eaten it right away, and it's so dry out here, it feels like it's toasted already. This bread's really stale. It's fresh bread. All right, let's get packed up and get on the bike. What do you say?